everyone and welcome to episode 148 of the Giddy Knits podcast. As always, I am Helen and I am coming to you from Dundee in Scotland. Today is Wednesday the 18th of September and this is my crafty podcast where I chat about all the projects that I've been working on since the last episode. We are on track this time again. We're back into the kind of 2-week episode schedule, I guess is the word I want. So that is good. Welcome back to all my regular viewers and hello to anyone that is new and checking out the channel for the first time. If you are checking out the channel for the first time, then let me know down in the comments. I love to interact with everyone in the comments as best as I can. I try and get back to everyone that comments. Yeah, I do try. I try my best. So let me know. Let me know if you are new and checking out the video for the first time. I am, if you are new, the dyer behind Giddy Yarns, which is an independent hand-dyed yarn business. All the details of everything, can be found here, actually. I always forget about my little bubble that I put up. Details of where you can find me on social media and my website and stuff like that. I'm pretty much Giddy Yarns everywhere, basically. Instagram, Facebook, website. And then you obviously know what I am on YouTube because you're here watching me. So yeah, all the details of that kind of thing, where you can find me, how you can contact me, everything like that is underneath the video in the description box. What have I got for you this week? Shall we start getting into it? We will start off with a little announcement section, a little talk about the make-alongs that we've got running at the moment. I do have a finished object to share with you, although I've just remembered that I've forgotten to grab it, so I will need to pause shortly. I have got our normal what's in the basket section, which is my current whips that I'm actively working on at the moment. I'm then going to do a little bit of a bingo challenge update. The bingo crafting challenge is one of our make-alongs that we're running this year. I'll talk about it more in a second, but I'm going to do a little update on how I'm getting on with mine, because I also need some help picking a project. I have got a bit of yarny goodness to share this week, and then I will finish off, as always, with a little bit of shop news. So we'll go straight into kind of the announcement section and then I'll pause and go and get the bits that I've forgotten to get organised and get ready. Let's start this week with what I'm wearing, because I forgot and didn't remember until halfway through the episode last week to let you know. But I am wearing my So Faded sweater. This is a pattern by Andrea Mowry. But I didn't fade mine, as you may be able to tell. I striped mine. I had a pack of 8 50-gram skeins from Pixie Yarns, which were 4 blues in a fade and 4 pinks in a fade, and I decided to stripe them, and I just did 10 rows of each colour, and I did the same, so the arms match as well, and I really love how this came out. I really enjoyed knitting it. I'm definitely finding stripes of colours are a thing for me when I'm knitting. It really kept me motivated. Yeah, so that is what I'm wearing this week. My So Faded too, out of Pixie Yarns. Announcements. So we have got 3 make-alongs running at the moment. The first one I'm going to mention is our ongoing make-along that is always running, and that is the Giddy Yarns make-along. So any project that you're working on that uses at least 50% of my yarn can be entered into our Giddy Yarns make-along to be in with a chance of winning a prize. I draw prizes quarterly, and usually it is your choice of a skein from the shop or a gift card for the shop, basically, to the equivalent value of a skein of yarn. So yeah. The next prize draw will be at the end of September, because that is the end of the quarter. So yeah, make sure you get your entries in if you have finished anything. And don't worry if you haven't finished it this month, but if you've just suddenly come to me and you've realised you've got a finished object that's in my yarn, then enter it, by all means. It's also a great opportunity for me to get to see things that people have made in my yarn. You can enter in our Ravelry group, and you can also enter in the Discord group. As I mention fairly often, the Discord group is where I am most active. That is the best place for me to kind of pop in and interact and things like that. Ravelry, I don't tend to be very active over there. I generally just pop in when I need to pick prize winners, and that's about it. But yeah, that is the Giddy Yarns make-along. We also have our Bingo Crafting Challenge, which is a year-long make-along that I have been running this year. It's been really fun. It's also kept me on track. So basically we created at the beginning of the year a bingo board of 9 squares with 9 little challenges that we wanted to set ourselves for our crafting. And it's been really good. Like, I've really enjoyed it. I'm going to go a bit deeper later on in the episode into how I'm doing with my bingo challenge, seeing as we are nearly 3/4 of the way through the year. I need a little bit of a review and a little bit of a work out what I need to focus on kind of thing. But yeah, again, all details for that are underneath the video and you can enter those again on Discord and Ravelry. And then the final make-along we have running at the moment is my annual Halloween make-along. This is the 7th year, I believe, that I have run this make-along, and it is so much fun. It's one of my favourite make-alongs of the year. It runs from the 1st of September until the 15th of November, and basically any project that you can in some way link to Halloween, horror, the supernatural, magic, anything that is kind of mystical or Halloween themed in any way can enter. Tenuous links are perfectly acceptable. If you can convince me that a colourway is Halloween coloured, if you convince me that a pattern has got, you know, a bit of magic to it, then it's fun. It's always more fun with the tenuous links, trying to work out how people are trying to convince me that it's Halloween themed. I have had a couple of offers of lovely prize donations. I'm just waiting for those to arrive in the post and then I will share them with you. If there are any makers out there who would like to donate a prize for the make-along, then that would be lovely. I always gratefully receive prizes. Just drop me a message wherever on Instagram or drop me an email or something like that. And yeah, that would be great. I will obviously donate prizes as well. So yeah, that's our make-alongs, I think, at the moment. I will be sharing updates on how I'm getting on with my Halloween projects because they're what are kind of in my basket at the moment. Right, I need to go and get the bits that I've forgotten, don't I? So that we can move on to my finished object. So, finished object is a little bit of a, wow, is it a half finished object? But it is also a finished object. I don't know. I finished a sample sock. So I have been working on this Wind in the Willows sample sock for a little while, to be honest. I sent out yarn to all my lovely sample knitters and they all got them back to me really quickly and it took me months to finish this one. So this is the colourway The Wildwood, which is one of my Wind in the Willows colours, and I have finally finished the sample sock. So that is, yeah, that is my finished object for this week. But yeah, it's something off the needles at least, isn't it? Yeah, that's it. That's all I finished. But I have been working on a few bits in my basket. Not masses. I've been fairly monogamous over the last couple of weeks. I'm just trying to work out where to put this. Let's pop it there. Oh yeah, I've been fairly monogamous over the last couple of weeks. So I will share the one thing that has had quite a lot of progress on, and then I'll share a couple of other things that I've also kind of picked up. So the main thing that has had lots of progress on is my Halloween jumper. So I have now separated for the sleeves on it, and it's going well. So I am knitting a Tolster tee, which is a pattern by Rebecca Clow, and I am using a combination of my yarn and a combination of beehive yarns, and this is where we are. So I'm using, my yarn is the grey, which is called Pebble, and then all of the stripes of colour are the Wednesday Halloween countdown from Beehive Yarns from last year, which I very luckily managed to pick up in a D-stash because I didn't buy it and then I regretted it when I saw it because it was beautiful. So yeah, we have come out of the dark greys and into the blues. I think I have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colours. I've just started colour 7. But as you can see, I have separated for the sleeves, so I am now onto the body and just the kind of round and round and round bit, which is brilliant. So I'm really pleased with how fast this has knit up. I've been really enjoying it. I'm really excited to kind of see how it grows. and to see how it comes out, basically. So yeah, that is my Tolster tea. I already have plans for others. Like, I've already decided that I want to do other kind of jumpers with using stripes of minis and things like that. I've got so many ideas now for other kind of garments and stuff like that. Yeah. So that really has been the project that I have worked the most on over the last 2 weeks. I showed you the Halloween socks last episode. I have cast on, obviously, the Halloween socks. I am using Witchy Woo by Green Lambkin, and which is this gorgeous colourway here. I'm using this, Witchy Woo by Green Lambkin, and I'm using the Just Add Magic sock pattern. I haven't done a lot on these. I've done maybe 2 more repeats of the pattern on the leg since I last saw you and last shared it. But every time I pick them up, I kind of do a pattern repeat and then I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I think that I've lost kind of my sock knitting mojo, really. I used to be a really big sock knitter. Sock knitting was always like my main thing. I was very much a sock knitter who knit other things, if that makes sense. But over the last year or 2 maybe, the number of socks that I've been knitting has reduced and reduced and reduced. Like, I've only finished 4 pairs of socks so far this year, and that is not very many by my kind of standards a few years ago. I mean, some of that obviously also comes from the fact that I am busier nowadays. When I used to knit lots and lots of socks and things like that, my business was smaller. I was mostly working on it part-time, alongside having kind of younger kids at that stage, whereas now it is very much a full-time job. So I don't have as much time to kind of just sit and knit and things like that, basically. And my kids are at that age where we're taking them to beavers, we're taking them to this, we're taking them to that, and things like that. So there's a lot of kind of stuff going on in the evenings and things as well. So it may just be as simple as that. And I'm sure I'll come back to it. But yeah, sock knitting really hasn't been my focus over the last couple of years. And yeah, I'm wondering if that's kind of just a change in my preferences in the type of thing I'm enjoying knitting. Because it's not like this is a complicated pattern either. There's very, very little. Basically, every other row you need to do like a little bit of the lace. Otherwise, it's just a really, really simple, mindless kind of thing. There's no pattern on the back, so it's mostly stocking stitch. It's a really small repeat as well, so it's not a complicated pattern. But I'm also not reaching for my vanilla socks. So I don't think it's to do with the pattern or anything like that. I think it's just to do with the fact that I am not reaching for my sock knitting as much as I used to. So yeah, I don't know. They will probably be finished by next Halloween. Unless I suddenly get an inspiration and suddenly decide to sit down and, you know, get them done. Socks can be like that. Like, when you actually just sit down and focus on them and don't get distracted by other things, like, you can get quite a chunk done in an evening. Really, there is no excuse. When you look at how much I've put on that jumper, like, I could have finished this pair of socks with the amount of yarn that I have knit into that jumper over the last couple of weeks. But yeah, I've just not been reaching for them. So they're my Halloween projects. That's where I'm at with my Halloween projects. Now, I am pretty sure by the 15th of November, if my motivation with this sticks, I should have a finished jumper. Because, as I said, I'm now onto the really easy, just round and round kind of thing, which is brilliant because that means I will reach for it when I'm reading and things like that. So yeah, hopefully a finished jumper by the end of the make-along. I have done a little bit on my cross stitch. So as you've seen this one multiple times, this is the Winter Wonderland Stitch Along by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. I will go this way, maybe. Pop a picture up there of where we were last time. I think I took the picture during the episode last time, didn't I? I have already taken a picture. I was doing some of this last night, and I took a picture last night for our update next time. But as you can see, I have finished off this building down here, and then I have moved up here. So I'm now on to part 3 of the stitch along. So I have knit this little man here holding his present, and I have started on this building, which looks like it's a church, I think. It has a clock tower. And then there's more buildings and things up here, and then we start a forest and things up here as well. I did also add a little bit more of the blue over here as well. I thought to myself, when I finished this section, I thought to myself, do you know what? I'm just going to pick up one kind of strand, I guess, of blue and do a full kind of strand of blue on this bit and then carry on with the fun bits. So I think that's what I might do to try and get this blue filled in so that I don't end up with it all left at the end and then just get really bored. But yeah, I'm still really enjoying it. One of the things I love about the Caterpillar cross stitch patterns is that they're often made up of small little bits and pieces, so you can just focus on like doing one building and then move on. And that really keeps me motivated with it. I am not a fast cross stitcher, as I'm sure you have gathered by this point, but I do really enjoy it. So yeah, and I am picking it up a lot more recently, which is really nice. So it is definitely getting some progress, which is good because I have got the fantasy stitch along, which has been and gone. I have got the pattern and the kit for that. I have also got the Halloween one that is currently running at the moment that I obviously haven't started. And I feel like I've got another one as well. I can't quite remember, but there are a few kits waiting for me to cast on. I don't know if that's quite the right term, is it? There are a few kits waiting for me when this one is done. But yeah, some progress on that. We were talking in the comments last episode about the fact that, are we talking about it on this podcast? Are we talking about, no, we were talking about it, I think, on this podcast, about the fact that I was starting the book video, and that's commonly known as booktube. And then people mentioned that cross stitching has floss tube, but we were saying that knitting and crochet podcasts and crafting podcasts don't really have a colloquial term. But we decided in the comments, with a few different people brought up this idea and we're going with it, we are now officially yarn tube. So yeah, we need to make it a thing. So yeah, yarn tube, you're watching yarn tube videos. I'm going to get sidetracked for a second because I do want to say thank you to everyone that came across from these videos to watch my recent book video. It has had a much better response. Well, no, it's had a really good response, more than I could have hoped for. And I'm so pleased with how many of you enjoyed it and how many of you have come across and watched it. So thank you to those that have. It's really appreciated. I really enjoyed the video. I'm already looking forward to doing one at the beginning of October, and I'm really glad it's had such a good reception. So thank you for everyone that has come across and commented over there for me. Right, one more thing in the basket. I have knocked my cross stitch off the thing. I have been working a little bit on my secret treasure box minis. This is the club that I am getting from Suzanne at Green Lambkin Yarns, and I thought I would just keep you updated on the squares and share some of the squares as I complete them, because I tend to just pick these up every so often. I have got in here a couple of months worth, I think, a whole host of kind of minis all balled up. I'm not keeping them in order, I'm just kind of digging them out and crocheting them up as we go. But what I'm doing with this one is I'm crocheting up 2 squares. So I'm doing one solid granny like that, and I'm doing one standard granny square like that. Both are the same kind of size. And then what I'm going to do when I've finished them all is work out whether I do 2 different blankets, whether I do a blanket and a couple of pillows, or whether I put them both into one blanket with 2 different styles of square. I haven't worked that out yet, but I will. I will work that out, but I'm giving myself options. So I've done those purple ones that you've just seen. I also have these yellowy orange ones as well. And then there is the standard granny square. So that is that one. And I am in the process of doing, oh, I've just dropped my crochet hook on the floor. I'm in the process of doing this lovely turquoisey blue one as well. So yeah, not masses, but I'm going to have to rescue my crochet hook later. It's gone under the chair. But what I thought is, if I show you these now, I have a separate bag because obviously all the squares aren't going to fit in that bag. I have a separate bag to put the squares in. So I will keep the squares in this bag until I've shown you them, and then I can show you the squares and they can then go into the bag with all of the other squares so that we can kind of see a little bit of progress on these squares as we go. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this club. 4 DK minis a month is a great idea to put together to create a blanket. I'm just managing to get 2 squares out of them. Obviously if I did smaller squares I'd absolutely get 2 squares out of them, but yeah, really happy with this club. So that is everything that I've pretty much been working on at the moment. The Halloween projects have definitely taken priority. But that's fine. Like that, I said, didn't I, in the last episode, that I really wanted to try and focus on that and actually finish something for the make along, because I did that with the spring shawl-a-thon earlier in the year, and I finished a Vertices Unite, and that was brilliant, and I really enjoyed that. So yeah, we're gonna focus on the Halloween projects, and then come November we can think of a few other projects. Talking of other projects, let's do a bingo update. I was going to do a quick bingo board update, and I need your help settling on a project because there is one square on my bingo board that I have not even started, and for some reason I am struggling to get started with it. So I need some help. Right, so I will shuffle over this way a little bit. So this is my bingo board, and this is the stage we are at with it so far. So let's have a think. So my first square, I'm just thinking, where have I got it? I have written it down on my notebook because obviously I can't see what you're seeing on the screen at the moment because future editing me is the one that does the magic. So I have, first of all, my first square, absolutely on track, easy peasy, is to track my in versus out for the year. And I am absolutely doing that. I have got my little notebook here, which I track it all in. At the end of August, we were doing really well. So at the end of July, I was sitting at a total of 1,675 grams in. At the end of August, I had reduced that, because I finished a big blanket, to only 595 grams in. So that was really good. I mean, again, as I said, this square does say track, not have more out than in, basically. It was more, I just wanted to track it, and I wanted it to encourage me to finish more things, which I think it's doing. September, as you will see when we come to Yarny Goodness, I may have cancelled out a fair amount of the blanket that got finished. But you will see. So I am tracking my in versus out, and that is going very well. We have one square complete, which is to finish a blanket, because I finished my Mild Mayhem blanket in August. Then we have finished 2 garments. So far I have finished 1 garment, which is this one here that I am wearing currently, but my Tolster tee is on track to hopefully definitely be finished this year, so I'm on track with that square. Then we have another completed square, which is finish a 6-month plus whip, which I did earlier in the year with my Mild Magic shawl, which I finished, earlier in the year. So again, completed square, that is good. Now, the next one, knit 6/12 pairs of socks. As I said when I set this square up at the beginning of the year, 12 was my stretch goal. If I knit 6, I will count this square as completed. So far, I have knit 4 pairs of socks this year. Although, having said that, I have knit at least 2 sample socks, because I have knit the Wildwood one that I just showed a minute ago, and I also knit a scrappy pair of socks for the Peter Pan collection earlier in the year. So I could, at a stretch, count those 2 single socks as a pair. Yeah, potentially I could do that. It feels a little bit cheeky though. So I do need to finish 2 more pairs of socks this year. I've obviously got my Halloween socks on the needles. I also have a pair of Christmas socks on the needles, and I also have my opal ones, which are just vanilla socks as well. Those are on the needles too. So yeah, but having just, as I was just saying about having said I've kind of really lost my sock mojo at the moment, and I'm really not reaching for sock knitting, this is one square I am a little bit worried about. So yeah, we will see. I might need to kind of push myself a little bit to get some socks finished. But the nice thing is I don't need to cast on new socks. I can very much, with what I already have on the needles, I can finish these squares without needing to start new projects. So that's a positive, I think. Then the next square is to knit more of the Grimblewood gnomes. This is talking about part 1 of the Grimblewood gnomes. So Nedwood, I can't remember all their names, Normanda, Nedwood, Neil, I can't remember the last one. I wanted to focus on the gnomes for this. So this square I will absolutely count as complete if I complete all 4 of that part 1 gnome. I think that's right, there's 4 gnomes. There is a cottage and there is a mushroom. But the cottage and the mushroom, they don't count. It was very much the gnomes that I'm focused on for this. I have knit 3 of the 4 gnomes. So again, I feel on track for this. And I am hoping later in the year, for my Patreon channel, I think I will do another Can I Knit a Gnome in a Week with the final one of those Grimblewood gnomes, because I always enjoy those vlogs. They're always quite good fun, and it means I knit a gnome in a week, usually. So yeah, that one again, I feel on track with. Keep up with a simple knitting journal. Absolutely 100% I'm doing that. I've actually got 2 on the go at the moment. So I've got this one, which is tracking my inverses out, but also writing down like the items that I finished and stuff like that. And then I've also created another one, which I didn't bring with me this week, which has got like a list of all of my projects that well, all of my projects at the point I started it, I guess, and then I've added new ones as I've cast them on with details of the pattern, the yarn, when I started them and stuff like that, and then I highlight them when they've been finished. So I've got a nice kind of record of all of the projects, when I started them, when I finished them, but relatively simple. So yeah, again, absolutely on track with that square, no worries at all. Now, this next square is the big one that I have got 3/4 of the year through and not made any progress on it. And for some reason, I have a bit of a mental block about this square. So this square is to complete an Advent project. Now, the idea with this was that I have quite a lot of Advent calendars from previous years sitting at home untouched. And I want to use them. I want to create a project with them. I want to turn them into something. But I have been struggling to decide on a project and commit to a project. So I have brought with me this week, I've got 5 patterns written down, which are patterns that are high on my list as to what I'm thinking of. And I want your help to help me decide which one I should cast on. I have also brought the Advents with me. So there are 4 potential Advent calendars. Let me just get them out of the box. We will start with this one here. So I have got, I'm not going to be able to show you this very well, but I will do my best. So this one is the Mermaid Advent Calendar from Jen at Castleview Yarns, from a couple, I think last year she did ice creams, so it's a couple of years ago. So this will have been the 2022 Advent Calendar, I believe. We did a swap. So it is a beautiful fade from pale pink through purples to blues and then finishing off with greens. I'm not quite sure why that one's fallen out of its spot, but it has. So that's that one. Now, when I originally got this, the pattern that I fell in love with was I'll move this way again so I can pop a picture up, was the Fade into Advent pattern by Lisa K. Ross. But there's something about this pattern that is just daunting me. I don't know why, but yeah, there is something about this pattern that is daunting me. But I am wondering whether I could do something with this one, something like the Snowy Pines could work really well. This is a pattern by Yarnia Designs. I think that would look beautiful in this as well. And I know I would really wear something like the Snowy Pines because it's a very similar shape to the Dust of Snow by Helen Stewart and the, what's the other one I knit by Ellie of Crash House Magic? The Cupid's Arrow wrap as well. They're both very similar shapes and I wear those all the time in the winter. So I know this is something that I would definitely wear. It's short, it's quite short rows, which always goes well for me with this kind of Advent project. So yeah, I don't know. That's my two thoughts with this one. Is the Fade into Advent is the one that I originally kind of earmarked for this Advent calendar, but I'm wondering whether switching to something like the Snowy Pines might be a good idea. So that is one Advent calendar. I've then got I've not got these in the right order. I've then got another box, hang on, and then there's another box. This was quite amusing this morning, packing bags to bring to the studio so that I could bring all these with you. The other Advent that I have got is from the Fibre Fox. And again, this is, I think, a 2021 Advent calendar. No, 2022 possibly. It is her Enchanted Forest one. We just have a bit of a rearrange because they've fallen out of the box in transit slightly, which means the colours are not quite in the right order. There we go. So this one is much more kind of earth tony. So it starts, I believe, if I can remember rightly, yes, it starts with the greens, it goes through blues and purples to reds, and then it finishes off in browns. And I had a couple of patterns in mind for this one. So one pattern I had in mind was the Euphorbia wrap by Amber O'Brien. Now, this is written for DK, but it would work perfectly fine with fingering weight held double. But I don't know why. There's something about the shape of that one that is just, I don't know. Again, I'm not kind of, I don't know. That was what I had in mind originally, but I'm not 100% sure. The other one that I'm now considering is the Cozy Coastline shawl by Shannon from Blue Fern Yarns. I've got a physical copy of the pattern somewhere in the studio. I think it's on my shelf over there. And it's got this gorgeous cable down the side, and I think it would look really, really nice in these kinds of colours. Yeah, so they're my two possibilities for this Advent calendar. Yeah, what do you think? And then the final one, yep, sorry, my brain just went a little bit there. Right, the final one is, I know what pattern I want to use. I haven't decided which Advent calendar to use, but I have two Advents here from Hannah, the Corner of Craft. So this one here, but I've not caked up all the yarn. This one has only got partially caked up yarn. But the lovely thing with this is it's not a fade, so they're all kind of random, different colours, really fun colours, slightly different styles of dyeing. So you've got some that are kind of a bit more variegated like that, but then you've also got sort of more subtly speckled ones. And things like that. So the pattern I'm leaning towards is the Calico Quilt Shawl by Samantha Troyer, because it's a modular shawl and I think it'll work beautifully in this kind of Advent calendar. I have two Advents, so I have this one here that I've just shown you. I also have another one from Hannah that is living in this bag. These ones aren't caked up at all. This one was, so I think this was 2022, this was 2021, I think, it's that way round. And again, real nice, beautiful sort of mix of different colours, which I think would work really nicely in something like the Calico Quilt Shawl. This one has a few more solid colours in it, whereas this one is very much all speckled or kind of variegated. There aren't any solid colours in this one. But I don't know, I think some little pops of solid colours in with the Calico Shawl could work quite nicely. So yeah, I need, that's the thing. So basically, what I need your help with is, tell me what pattern to knit, and that will decide the Advent. So if we're going Cozy Coastline or Euphorbia wrap, we're going Fibre Fox. If we're going Fade into Advent or Snowy Pines, we're going Castle View Yarns. And if we're going Calico Quilt Shawl, we are going Corner of Craft. And I will make the decision about which Advent I use for that. So let me know in the comments, which of those patterns do you think I should cast on for my Advent project? Bearing in mind, in order to tick this one off, I kind of need the project to be finished by the end of the year. I'm thinking I won't cast on an Advent project with a new Advent this year. I will start this probably in November. That's my plan, because I want to get the Halloween make-along stuff done first. If I finish my Halloween jumper early, then absolutely I will cast this on after that. But yeah, I want to get the Halloween focus on the Halloween stuff first. So it'll probably be early November, I think, that an Advent calendar gets cast on. But then, I'm going to knock the tripod. No, we should be all right. Then I will be able to focus on it throughout November and December, which I think will be quite nice. So yeah, that's what I need your help with. Let me know which of those patterns I should cast on. And then the final, let's get the bingo board back up again, shall we? The final square in my bingo board is to complete a brioche project. I do have one on the needles at the moment. I have got the, is it All About That Brioche by Lisa Haynes on the needles at the moment, and I am part way through the first section of that. It's taken a back seat because I've been working on the Halloween jumper. So there is a possibility that this one can be completed. I just need to pick up that project again and get working on it, but it is already on the needles, so that is good. So the only ones that really need a project actually kind of cast on for is a Grimblewood gnome, which I'm not worried about. The Advent project and the Advent project, basically, and that's it. They're the only ones that need something cast on. Right, that is the bingo update. So, moving on, I have got a fair bit of yarny goodness to share with you. And it's going to be a little bit crinkly, so we will get the crinkly one out of the way first. Having just talked about having two existing Corner of Craft Advent calendars that I haven't finished with, I may have acquired a third. Sorry, crinkly. So my lovely friend Laura was selling her 2023 Advent calendar from Hannah at the Corner of Craft. This was the Book of Spells Advent calendar, and I didn't buy it last year, and then I really regretted it, and I wished I'd bought it when I saw her revealing the colours and things like that. And when I saw that Laura was selling hers, I was like, this is great, because not only do I get to support a friend, I get yarn. So yeah, I bought it from her. Well, technically, I haven't actually bought it from her. We are both going to go and see some bands from our teenage years. We're going to see Bullet for My Valentine and Trivium in Glasgow in January. And we looked at the cost of it all. And if I buy the tickets and book our hotel room, then it all balances out. So we're doing that. So yeah, it is completely unopened. Everything is still in there. And I need to make some decisions about what I'm going to do with this. I'm thinking I might set myself a few goals next year. I might do a little bit of, like, I might pick a month and try and knit an Advent project in a month. So give myself kind of a full month, 30 days, 31 days, depending on the month, and make an Advent project my focus for that month, and try and work through a couple of my Advents that I've got sitting around, kind of thing. And if I do that, I'm actually thinking I might leave these unopened until then, so that I could actually open them during that month and cast them on, you know, if that makes sense. So maybe I'll start a couple of days early and open a few and skein them up. But then, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Do you know what would be awesome? But it's never happening because I'm already overwhelmed by the amount of work my advent calendars are. Wouldn't it be awesome if yarn dyers sent out advent yarn already caked and ready to use? Because that's the bit that always slows me down. Like having to cake the yarn, especially nowadays, because all my caking stuff is at the studio. I haven't got any caking, like skein caking equipment at home. I don't have a ball winder or a Swift at home anymore. It's all at the studio. So I have to be able to fit it into my workday at the studio before I have to leave to go and get the kids in order to get yarn caked in time. So yeah, anyway, I'm rambling now. But how cool would it be if it came already caked and you could just cast on straight away? That would be really cool. I am not offering that. Oh my goodness. I know how long it would take me to cake 24 mini skeins and it's not happening. It's bad enough that I've got to skein them all. Anyway, that is my first bit of yarny goodness. I'm going to put it down so the crinkling can stop. Right, we will grab the basket with everything else in. So the other thing was, I picked that up at knit night last week, and I also met up with Erin of Henny Penny Makes because we all go to the same knit night. And we are swapping yarn clubs this year. So she is having a skein of my Discworld club each month, and I am having her a skein of her It's Criminal club each month. And we haven't been since June, possibly, knit night. We haven't been running over the summer holidays, and it's just because we've all been busy. So I got there on Wednesday and she handed me 4 skeins of yarn. Because it had been a while. So I have 4 skeins of beautiful yellowy yarn as well coming in. So we have got a house or a stage, which is this gorgeous kind of just golden yellow. Then we have a woman of many names, which is this lovely yellow with green speckles. We have 4 and 20 blackbirds, which is this gorgeous kind of a bit more orange and brown tones in with this golden yellow, but still kind of yellowy toned. And then we have a pocket full of rye. Isn't that from the same song? A pocket full of rye, 4 and 20 blackbirds baked in a pie. Isn't that a pocket full, isn't that the same song? I don't know. Anyway, it probably isn't, and I'm getting myself confused now, but anyway. So yeah, then we have a pocket full of rye, which again is more heading towards the browns with golden bits as well. So they are lovely. I have no idea what I am going to do with this club yet at all. I think, again, I like to wait until the end of the year and then kind of get all the colours out and have a little look and decide what to do with them then. I got DK, so yeah, I really don't know. I have no idea, but we will see. We will see when I come to use them. And then the other thing that arrived is my August Secret Treasures. Let's hold it upside down so you can see it better. My August Secret Treasures yarn club arrived as well, so that is more minis to go into my Secret Treasures blanket. So yeah, a fair amount of yarny goodness. I worked it out. It's a 20-gram advent calendar with 24 colours in, so that's 480 grams of yarn in the advent calendar, plus plus another 480 grams of yarn there. So what's that? A total of 960 grams of yarn coming in September. Thank goodness I had 1,000 grams of yarn at least go out in August. But yeah, it's just one of those things, isn't it? I'd completely forgotten about the It's Criminal Club, to be honest. And then Erin handed it over and I was like, oh yeah, that's another amount of yarn to add into my stash. But I am so excited about it. So it's fine. It's all fine. And again, I'm only tracking it. It's not meant to be, it's meant to be fun and not high pressure. So yeah, right, that is all of the yarny goodness. I am just thinking shop news. What did I have to tell you shop news wise? I think I was going to share the Mr. Fox colours with you because they are live on my website now. There's a lot in stock ready to ship that you can just buy if you want to. But I haven't got them, so I need to just go and grab those a second, I think. Okay, we have Mr. Fox yarn. So 13th of September, which was last Friday, was Roald Dahl Day, and I started last year with a little tradition of releasing a new collection on Roald Dahl Day, themed around Roald Dahl's books. We did Matilda last year, and this year I decided to go with Fantastic Mr. Fox. So there were 5 colours, and I guess I will just show you them all. We have got Boggis Bunsen Bean, which is this one here, inspired by the 3 farmers. I really like this one. And I paired it with a green mini if you decide to go for the sock sets. Then we have got Fantastic Mr. Fox himself, which is this one here. So he is golden yellows with burgundy. Because he has a burgundy coat in the book. So that is Fantastic Mr. Fox, and he's paired with a burgundy mini. Then we have Dig Dig Dig, which is this one here, inspired by the foxes digging to try and get away from the farmers. It is a gorgeous kind of tonal brown with a few pops of gold colours and a few pops of burgundy in there as well. And it's paired with that kind of well, I don't even know what to kind of call that one, but it's a brown. It's paired with a brown mini. And then we have Like Drinking Sunbeams and Rainbows, which is inspired by the cider that one of the farmers makes. And that is just this gorgeous tonal yellow with lovely kind of speckles in there as well. And it's paired with this kind of golden yellow mini as well. And then finally we have The Great Feast, which is this one here, which is a speckled colourway with speckles. It's got a pale brownish base, and then it's got speckles of all the colours, greens, browns, burgundies, golds, everything in there basically. And it's paired with this kind of rusty coloured mini skein. So that is that one. And then, of course, because it would not be a Giddy Yarns collection without them being available as mini bundles, we have them all available as mini bundles as well. So you can get all of the Fantastic Mr. Fox colours in a mini bundle, basically, as well. And as I said, they're all available ready to ship on my website at the moment. I have opened up dye to order listings for the main colourways, so because I've only got them available on merino nylon sock sets or 100-gram skeins, but if you wanted them on any of my different bases, then they're available dye to order, and I can dye them up for you on any of the other bases as well. So yeah, that is it then. That is the Fantastic Mr. Fox colours. Yeah. So, what else did I want to tell you about? There's not a lot else shop news. The next few weeks are very, very, very much Advent focused. All of the Advent minis are dyed, and I'm over halfway through skeining them all. I've still got sock sets for the weekly Advent to dye. I've dyed the first one of that. I've got 100-gram skeins for the main Advent to dye. So very much the next few weeks are going to be focused on that. I am vending at Glasgow School of Yarn, which is the 19th, 18th, 19th, 20th, the Friday, Saturday, Sunday that is around the 19th of October. It is at the end of our 2 weeks of 2 weeks of school holidays here in Scotland. So yeah, I have 2 weeks of school holidays before then as well. It's all going to be a bit chaotic, so there's not a lot releasing in the next few weeks. Clubs will obviously go live on the 1st of September, 1st of October, but I may talk to you before then, I'm not sure. The next kind of big thing that we'll be releasing will be Christmas themed stuff. So I will have, are they releasing in October? I'm just trying to think now. When am I releasing? Yes, because I'll want them to ship on the 1st of December probably. So yes, so sometime in October, I will be releasing my Christmas treat box. So it's like my Christmas Eve cast on box, which is like a Christmas treat box basically. So that will be releasing, and I will also be releasing a 12 Days of Christmas, which is designed to open from Christmas Day onwards basically. So pre-orders for those will release in October, probably the second half of October, and then I'll dye them all up in November, and they get shipped out kind of the 1st of December usually, or the end of November, that kind of time. I still haven't settled on themes for those. I didn't do a 12 Days of Christmas last year, but I have done in previous years, and I generally do a fade for the 12 Days of Christmas. So yeah, I need to just kind of come up with an idea or a theme for that one. Last year I did The Snowman by Raymond Briggs for the treat box. And it was really, really, really popular. And I'm hoping to find another kind of bookish thing that would fit a Christmas theme and would work well for a treat box. So I need to have a little bit of a think still before those release, but I've got some time. But yeah, those will be coming, because I know I've had a few questions from people asking if I'm doing 12 Days of Christmas or whether I'm doing a Christmas cast on box again, and the answer is yes, they will be coming in October. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. But I think that's everything shop news wise. Yeah, I think that's it. So we have come to the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching as always. And if you have got this far in the video, then not only tell me in the comments which pattern I should cast on for my advent yarn, but also leave me a fox emoji for the fantastic Mr. Fox collection. And I will see you all hopefully in 2 weeks' time. Thank you for watching. Bye.